Hello guys, it's the headphoneaddict.com here, and today I am delivering on a promise I made quite some time ago, which was to review the Beyerdynamic T1 Tesla high-end flagship headphones from Beyerdynamic. And firstly, I'm just going to go through the basic features and characteristics of these headphones, and then I'm going to show you what kind of equipment I've used with it, and then I'm going to say a little bit about it comparatively, so this setup versus that setup, etc. And lastly, I'll give you my final thoughts. So, okay, to the overview. These are very pretty headphones, and they're open back and have a high impedance, so they leak sound both inwards and outwards. They offer some isolation, but it's not suitable for noisy environments. Furthermore, as I said, they have a high impedance, so you really need a headphone amplifier to drive them sufficiently, and they're also very analytical, so when you connect them to different equipment, well, if it's not a good match, you can hear it pretty instantaneously. And also they are on the bright side, so if you're sensitive to bright sounding headphones, you might want to check something else out. So first, let's just look at the headbands here. Probably seen this 10 times if you've looked at other reviews, but it can fit a pretty big nugget, and it's very comfortable, having lots of foam up here, and the air cushions are also very good. They have angled drivers, not sure if you can see that, but they have angled drivers, which gives you a better sound stage, so that's really great. And they're very analytical. So that's the basic features. I'm going to put these down now, and well, another basic feature is big jack. Not going to say so much about that. If you're considering these kinds of headphones, I'm sure you know what that is. So okay, going over here, this first setup is the AURALiC TAURUS fully balanced headphone amplifier, which is a high-end headphone amplifier and preamp. At the bottom here we've got the AURALiC ARK MX Plus, which is a digital to analog converter, and this setup is very good for Odyssey LCD3 actually, probably my favorite right now. But moving on, moving on, here we've got a tube amplifier, which is the Wu Audio WA6-SE with a USAF 592 rectifier, and over there you have two driver tubes, which is 6 DR7s. I've tried the T1s with lots of different tube combinations, and this is maybe one of my favorites. A bit more airy if you swap out the USAF 596 with a Moeller GZ 37. But moving on, here we got an HDP, which means a headphone amplifier, digital to analog converter, and preamp in one. So it's a sort of a all-in-one solution. The Grace Design M903, tried it with that. Often used in professional applications, and the T1s with M903 is quite a professional tool if you want to do analytical mixing and stuff like that. I'm not into that at all. I'm a casual listener mostly, so but the M903 has great qualities, so I own it. Furthermore, we have another Wu Audio amplifier, which is the Wu Audio WA2, which is a OTL, output transformerless tube amplifier. When people are talking about the tube sound, this is probably what they're talking about. Smooth, rich, full-bodied, smooth like velvet, bold, not fast and punching like a solid state amplifier, but more smooth and easygoing, I would say. So this is more of a tube sound than the WA6-SE. So if you're looking for tubey sound, WA2 is a good candidate, I would say. At the back here you got another HDP, which is cheaper than the other equipment I've shown you. This is the ASUS Exoner Essence 1, which is, as I said, also an HDP, so it's a headphone amplifier, preamp and digital to analog converter in one. So back to the headphones. Sorry. The T1 is, as I said, pretty analytical, and they can be a tad harsh, especially if your recordings are poor, and I can only say my own opinion. So I think that they are best at lower volumes, and at lower volumes they are probably the best headphones I've heard to date. They have great instrument separation, they are great depth, so if you have people playing on a scene, you can hear here's that instrument, so it's deep, it has depth, and it has width. It's a pretty broad soundstage, you can say. Also, the bass is really detailed and it goes deep, but it's not that in-your-face bass which punches you. And also, it can be a bit sibilant, so if you turn the volume really loud, it can be hurtful. And because it's so analytical, you don't want to use these for casual stuff like surfing the internet, watching YouTube movies, etc., as there are many videos with poor sound quality, and that can be kind of not hurtful, I would say, but it's not exactly ideal. I like to use something like Sennheiser HD650 for such purposes. So back to this combination, this first combination here. I would say that this is a pretty good combination. It's not the best combination, but it has a broad soundstage, it has tons of detail, enough power to drive them absolutely properly. So it's a very good combination. The soundstage is wide, and the bass is deep, and well, it is probably the best solid state setup for these headphones that I've shown you here. Moving to the next solid state amp, which is the Grace Design M903. This is much more analytical, I would say. It can be harsher than the Taurus, which I showed you down there. So I would say that the M903 is better for more professional applications, basically, where you want to listen for faults and stuff like that. So that's something to have in mind. I don't think it's that enjoyable to listen to these two together, as it can be a bit harsh, but on low volumes, very low volumes, it's extremely great at good recordings. But the Taurus wins. It also has a bit narrower soundstage as opposed to the Taurus, but that worsens when using it on this thing at the back here, which is the ASUS Exoner Essence 1. This is less detailed and a bit more narrower soundstage, and also the depth isn't at the same level as with the M903 and with the Taurus. So it is a good amplifier. I could live with that and the T1 if I had to. It wouldn't be a problem, but there is still stuff to extract. There is still performance to extract from the T1s basically. So that's the one and the T1. The bass is great, so it drives them sufficiently. It has enough power supplies and stuff like that. So it's a good combination, but not so good when you hear the Taurus. But that's many times the price. So I would actually say that Essence 1 is a good match actually for solid state amps. And also you can change op amps in this. This has got the stock op amps, so you can change op amps and probably get even better performance with the T1s. Then we have the more solid state sounding tube amplifier, the Wu Audio W6-SE. Together with T1, I would say that it's somewhere between the AURALiC TAURUS, which we've got here, and my favorite which we've got here, the Wu Audio WA2. So it's somewhere in between these two. I would say it's better than the M903, because the M903 is a bit too analytical and a bit too bright for the T1s. These are, if you have M903 in brightness here, you have that the Taurus here, and you have the VA6 here, so it's less bright than both of those two others. And soundstage wise and stuff like that, I would say that the Taurus and the VA6 is about the same. Sorry about this, guys. It's a lot of things to process here, so it's really tricky to convey my thoughts properly. Okay, moving on to the favorite, which was the WA2 from Wu Audio. This is a great tube amplifier. Absolutely phenomenal. When I first got it, I thought that it was it really didn't meet my expectations. I thought it was a bit harsh actually and dry sounding, but seems like that was due to the stock tubes, which I didn't like very much. Now I've found my favorite tubes, which are in place right here, and it's a pair of 6ASG7s. Put that in the description box. These tubes are just wonderful. They make the sound super blossomy, I would say. They make the sound bold, beautiful, smooth, never gets harsh. It's just a continuous flow of greatness, I would say. And they also make the T1s less harsh, so that's great. There is one downside to these tubes though, and that's the fact that the WA2 is very sensitive to the 6ASG7 tubes, and Jack at Wu Audio actually stopped selling these tubes because there is a bit of hum in them. If you don't find a good match, there can be humming, there can be microphonics and stuff like that, so that can be a problem. So be sure to secure that the tubes you're getting is as silent as possible. If it's just a little hum, it's not a big problem if you play a little louder. So well, yeah. And this amplifier is really great with Sennheiser HD 650s as well. That's probably the best combination I like with these. And these tubes, it's just tons of greatness. So I didn't really like this initially when I got it, and that was due to the tubes I had. But now that I've got these puppies in, it's just so much better. I've also got other tubes, the TS5998 for instance, and they are much more expensive than these. These are not so expensive, but I still prefer these actually. So that's pretty much what I wanted to say, that the Woo Audio WA2 and the Beyerdynamic T1 is the best combination. It still has details and everything like that, but it's sweeter on the ear, so to speak. And if you don't want to get a tube amp, I'm also hearing great stuff about the Beyerdynamic V200 and the T1s, so be sure to check that out on a forum like headfi.org or something like that. I don't have experience with that combination, but there are people who have and has said that that's a great combo. So basically now I've run for 16 minutes and I feel like I have gone through the most important stuff. If I've forgotten anything, I'm going to do it in the comments. So thank you for watching, and have a great day. Bye guys.